think I did it right. It's always something going on. All right, so, and we are live. All right. How's it going, everybody? This is Jared with the Digital Battlefield, and today we got a pretty awesome surprise for you guys. We got Dr. Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist, Army veteran, and graphic t-shirt connoisseur. How's it going, Rob?
Hey, what's going on, man? Quick correction. I am Air Force before people start chasing you with pitchforks and torches.
Isn't that what I said?
You said Army.
Yeah, it's all the fucking same to me. I was in the Marine Corps.
We're off to a good start.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck it, dude. My podcast is listed as explicit, so, they can kick rocks.
Yes.
Yeah. So why don't you give us a little background about, how you got into business and, we'll kind of kick it off from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I joined the Air Force at 21 and then got my school out of the way. I moved to San Diego, and my first entrepreneurial venture was actually a skateboard company, believe it or not.
Nice.
I've been a skateboarder for 30 years. I know you can appreciate this. And
for a second,
I got some funding. Yeah, I got some funding, and early stage angel investor handed me $6,000, and he's like, "Do something with this. I know you're smart. I know you'll do something great with this." And I had no idea, dude. But I did a production line of clothing, of boards, wheels. And I swear to God, this is the honest to God truth, Jared. At one point, I had Frankie Hill and Eric Ricks writing for my company. I'm sure you recognize those names.
You're blowing smoke right now, aren't you?
Dude, I'll show you pictures.
No balls.
But it was,
you need proof.
It was ridiculous. Like the two guys that I had, worshipped as a kid, both Pal Pros back in the day, still skating in their 40s. But yeah, I hooked them up and they were on the team. Eric Ricks was making me videos. It was an amazing time. But my
reference was real quick for reference. What's the timeline of this?
The timeline for this, it was called Blue Dragon Enterprises. I want to say it was about 2008.
Okay.
And my biggest problem was that although I almost sold out of the board line, like I did a run of like 100 and I sold out of like almost all of them. My biggest problem was that I wasn't keeping track of inventory. I didn't have a sales plan or marketing plan. It was majority of sales I learned were people that just wanted completes. Okay. And so I was very green in business as far as not knowing how to expand, how to, the design aspects. I went through a lot of contractors for design, stuff like that. So anyway, that gave me my first business experience. Started writing some books, and then fast forward a couple of years, I ended up quitting my day job and just giving business advice full time, teaching visibility and growth strategies, because I'd created this media plan, and at the time I'd gotten like 60 interviews just from the tactics I'd used. And so I figured, why not flip those, make a course out of it, which I sold out, and then just teach people these strategies. And so right now I'm a business visibility growth strategist.
That's insane though. 60 right out the gate.
Yeah. It just started off with one, and that just gave me the motivation, dude. Mm-hmm. And it was just about telling my story and being an interesting guest and creating value for the podcast hosts.
Right.
And so it's today, fast forward to today, 160 interviews under my belt, own a magazine called Shift Advanced Life Design, 8-time author, course creator, and full-time entrepreneur. Like I literally just work from home here in sunny San Diego in the infamous pad.
That's the pad, huh?
Yeah, man. There's my nerd station. Is where the magic happens, brother.
Dude, it sounds like you got it all worked out. So what's on the horizon right now for you?
Right now, I'm currently building a Think and Grow Rich themed course with Coach Lori Wagner called Wages of Intelligence.
Okay.
We're about to put that bad boy out to market for pre-launch soon.
Oh, snap.
Still doing client work, still doing a lot of social media. And then the magazine's going strong.
You're on Facebook Live like almost every day.
Yeah, I try and do one every morning if I can. And then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I try and teach an evening lesson that's like really powerful.
Awesome, man.
So
yeah, no, I know. I think it was earlier or late last year. I actually went through your Destiny Project course, and that was phenomenal. I wrote a clean looking ebook out of that. I'm pretty proud of it. Put out another one since, and I'm even working on a full scale actual book right now because of that course. So how's that one doing these days? Because I know it's kind of grown since I joined.
Yeah. Glad you brought that up. So yeah, I started off with an idea, created the Destiny Project, where I just had this. If you remember the monster ebook I gave all the members, that was like, it had like 15 videos. it was
a PDF with a shit ton of links.
Yeah. It was ridiculous, dude. And and what I decided to do was, it was a little general, like it wasn't branded or themed well. And so I said, okay, I'm going to turn the Destiny Project, because that's what it's about, is creating your own destiny by, income streams, into Design Your Paycheck. Because what is Design Your Paycheck? Well, it's going to be a course where I teach people how to make income streams.
Okay.
Because I have about 7 of them right now. And so once you start developing them and you start automating them and creating these packages and stuff, like, you can literally create the life of your dreams.
That's the thing. That's what we all want. As Stephen Kuhn and Lane say, it's the quality of life that we're all looking for.
Yeah. And it's the evolution of your business, is to go from a tier 3, which is like 0 to 5,000 a month. And then when you get to that 5,000 a month pretty regularly, then all of a sudden your life changes, because you don't have to have a boss. You can support yourself, right? If you can make 5,000 a month with a medium amount of work.
Maybe not where you're at.
Depends. Depends on how you live, honestly. Like if you have an expensive car and 4 kids and like all this crazy stuff, like, it just depends on your life choices.
Right.
But once you get to that point, then you elevate, then you hire a team, then you start automating stuff, then you start putting out higher priced products, and you keep growing like a bubble, right? You expand. Okay. You get into tier 2, which is like 5,000 to 10,000 a month. You're setting up your teams, and you have to do less work for more money, which is the ideal way to do it, to hit tier 1, which is where all you're doing is being the 06. Like, you're literally talking to your ops managers at the beginning of the week and saying, okay, run this process, do this. These are the results I want. Reach out if you need anything. And then you are not doing grunt work. Right. That's the ideal business model.
Go forth and conquer.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I love it, man. So with all of that, the whole podcast that we're doing here is it's catered to the digital space, right? So how is that stuff? How can we apply that to the digital space to help our, SEO, marketing, web agencies kind of push ourselves to that next level?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so what I want to talk about today is the digital resources that I use in order to enhance everything I'm doing. So one thing, we had a talk before the podcast started. We had a talk about the need for digital strategies to take our audiences to a sale. And so one thing I encourage people to do is to look into chatbots. And some people hate chatbots, some people love them. But I read a really good book called Conversational Marketing, and it really got the chatbot idea into my head, because here's what you need to remember. Think about your website. You're asleep 9 hours a day. Guess what? When you're asleep, people from Europe and around the world might be going to your website. And if you have a chatbot enabled, they can make sales for you. Okay. Or they can book appointments for you. But if your website doesn't have that chatbot, then guess what? They're probably going to go to your competitor. So that's just one reason why everybody should have a chatbot.
Let's see, what you're talking about here is the process, right? You have to have these processes in place in order for it to run full time without you monitoring it every second of every day.
Yeah, this is getting into automation using technology, and it's something that I'm still learning about. So the first things that any type of digital entrepreneur should do is to automate their social media, to to automate some of their selling processes, and automate their email sequences. So you shouldn't be doing that much work. You know me, Jared, I do a lot of social media, but for example, my Facebook group, completely automated. It takes me 60 minutes on a Sunday, maybe 45 minutes. And that's the entire week is done, right?
But that's because you actually plan your content and schedule it accordingly.
Yeah. Right. And I schedule it strategically so that in high engagement hours, that's when the really fun, like conversational posts come out.
Right.
And we're at the point now we actually recognize patterns. Like everybody knows Tuesday is therapy day, where we all just talk about our businesses honestly, and that's the post everyone loves.
Right. There's one that you have in one of your groups. I think it's the Success Engineers, where it's like this guy with his kids in the kitchen. It's just you're just that's like tell me how it really is. Well, shit sucks today. I don't know if Tuesday is the best day for that. Maybe a Monday, but I think it'd get more entertaining on a Monday.
Yeah, I think you're right. I want it. I picked Tuesday just so they could have a little bit of their week kind of done, just to kind of see the flow that it's going through. But yeah, that might be a fun experiment. Like move it to days and see what happens. Because Friday's a low engagement day. Thursday is usually the busiest day of the week, if I remember right. So that's one thing, is to automate your social media processes, automate your sales as much as you can. And then how do we automate using people? We hire assistants. We bring on interns. We outsource a team remotely, right? These are all the things that we can do as force multipliers, like when the Marines call in an Air Force A-10, like you have to have a force multiplier in order to multiply your results.
Right. And a big piece of that is also leveraging technology, especially, even now during COVID, people now finally understand what it means to have a remote workforce. But, you and I, we've understood that for years. So it's making sure you have that technology in place as well to really work effectively, not only with your team members, but also with the social media scheduling.
Yeah, exactly. So right off the bat, the website that I use for social media automation is Buffer, but there's also Hootsuite and there's also Edgar. Yeah. Another site that I use, and this one, for your listeners that are taking notes, this is the one you want to write down, is eJunkie. E-Junkie. What it does, it lets you upload any PDF. It makes you a sale page. You can set the price, and then it auto delivers anytime someone buys your ebook. And I'm telling you, Jared, this changed the game, dude.
And for people who don't know how to do that, that's a solid tool. I've actually built systems like that for myself using forms and a email system and like Dropbox to complete the desired result.
A lot of people
are not that technically capable.
Yeah, it's something that they've definitely got to practice on. But I'm not a tech guy, believe it or not. Not at all. And it just took me years of practice and getting used to it. But I'm just saying that because if I can do it, anyone can learn it.
Right.
And in the this is the one thing that people missed in Destiny Project, the ebook. I have a system in there using digital tools that is an unlimited email capture device.
Say what?
And you can, open it up today sometime, Jared. It'll blow your mind. Just scroll to you'll find it. But there are diagrams in there teaching how to use 4 different websites in conjunction, just like you're talking about. It's almost like engineering,
right?
Where you can automate your social media posts to give away freebies to add to your email list. And I was at the point where I was collecting 5 to 7 passively every week, warm leads in my industry. And, it was amazing. And all it does, it costs like $10 a month, I think. And you only need about 40 minutes on a Sunday to set it up.
Okay.
So imagine like freebie pages, right? You make your sale page with your Dropbox link and your opt-in, all that stuff on Wix, Weebly, WordPress. You don't need it to be super fancy, if it's just a freebie page, opt-in page.
Right.
And then you use your social media posting software. Now, once you got your freebie page, you're posting to LinkedIn in the hours that you're sleeping. That's the real advantage to it. So imagine like if I'm doing 5 freebies a night, 1 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m., blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And I wake up and there's just email notifications and then at the end of the week, you just, transfer them to your email list. Dude, it's amazing. And more people should be doing this, but they just don't. A lot of people just don't have the desire, but they want the list.
Right. A lot of it is either you don't have the time, the knowledge, or you're just not technical. Like with technology, you're not at that level. So resources like that are definitely powerful.
Yeah, it's a system I need to revisit because you can push this out. You can also push out sale pages, so they will actually sell for you. Now, conversion probably won't be great, but I mean, even 1 sale, 2 sales a week from this, if it works, worth it, worth the time at least.
Right. Especially at the price point of the products that you sell. I'd say that's worth it as well.
Well, yeah. And that's the thing is that here's what's awesome about auto posting software. You can use it for any LinkedIn business page. You can use it for any Facebook business page, any Facebook group you run, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram. And you can do them, you can preload them, and you can just have this stuff going out 24/7, man.
I'm actually using a tool right now that I picked up off of AppSumo. It's called Social Monials. It's got a nice zing to it, but I don't know if it's better than Buffer. But it's got this feature where you can actually schedule time slots for specific types of posts, and you just tag up your post with whatever type it is, and it'll queue it and send it out whenever it's supposed to send it. So you don't have to actually focus on, okay, this has to go out Thursday at 4 p.m., schedule that. Nah, you don't have to worry about that. It just throws it in the queue and does its work for you.
That's awesome. And Buffer's pretty good. My only issue is that in the last couple of years, like some of the features, it used to be really easy to repeat your posts and just pop them into a new date if you want to recycle them. But now you have to copy paste them, and then it takes a little extra time.
So what you're talking about is those group posts that happen regularly, like every Monday is this day, every Tuesday is Taco Tuesday kind of post.
Yeah. So my only disadvantage is that I have to copy paste those to recycle them. And back in the day, man, you used to be able to just click a button and it would automatically do it on the date you wanted. So it might be time to try something new. Try something to see if I can find a new one.
You and I might want to get together after this, because when I scheduled the ones for my group, I clicked it one time and it automatically recycles it.
Nice.
Yeah. Sweet. Awesome, man. So in terms of these freebies that we're giving away, what are some tips that you can give out to everyone out there, just you and me and myself, that we can actually put into effect to create a solid digital resource for people to capture their information and put them into our CRM or our leads list, as you put it?
So there are a couple ways to do this, but essentially what we want to do to get them into a CRM system is to have an opt-in page and some type of freebie. A freebie should always be a preview of an upsell. And so when somebody gets a freebie, they should get to the end of it. There should be there should actually be a couple of different upsell opportunities. And so if you imagine ClickFunnels, like you go to somebody's page and there's always a button there that says, hey, would you like to try this for $10? Or like this, why not try that? So there should be an upsell button at the initial freebie page. That's something I've learned. And then the last page of the freebie should have a hard offer, a hard pitch right there. And you might be able to get some sales that way too. Freebies should have a high amount of value, but not quite be client level. So I always tell people to give away what and sell how. So you might want to have your freebie be informative or subject-based, whereas whatever you're selling is the how, the tactics, how to do this, the process of this, the tactics of this.
Okay.
Information has different amounts of value. And so this is the one thing I've really, really honed in on the last couple of years, Jared, and gotten good at, is looking at information and saying, okay, why is this worth $5 and this worth 97? Okay.
Right.
And so
I think we all want to know that. What's the secret?
Yeah. So here's the secret, dude. Whenever we're designing freebies or ebooks or whatever, if we veer onto that's the lowest level, what I call subject-based information. Like if it just has a topic like beagles, right? And then you get to higher price, like medium priced is resource lists, things that people can use to, for a subject that is just information gathering. And then when you get to the highest price stuff, rare, tech, strategy, very deliberate how-tos. So these are the categories. If you want to write high-priced ebooks, those are the main categories that will get people to buy. And then the more well-known your brand is, the more you can charge. So this is how I can write a $200 ebook and sell out of the print run, because first of all, people told me I was crazy, that no one would ever buy a $47 ebook. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's try this then. And my first $47 ebook, I sold $1,000 in 7 days. The next one after that, it was $197, and I made $1,000 in a day. So this next ebook I'm going to write, I'm curious, what it's going to be, but it's going to be awesome. It's going to be Design Your Paycheck. So we'll see.
Those books that you did well on, are you still selling those?
No. And the reason is in the early days, I had to run split tests. I had to try stuff out.
Okay.
And so the original business books that I wrote, I only made available to success engineers, my private Facebook group. And then, so not to the Gen Pop. And then the veteran entrepreneur was a bundle. So it was digital plus printed plus consulting call. Right. I sold out of the printed copies. I have one left. And so I don't offer that anymore. Well
then.
So for what I'm going to do next, go ahead.
I was going to say, is that something you're looking to bring back, or, version 2.0?
Here's what I'm going to do. So the next one's going to be Design Your Paycheck. It's going to be available. It's going to be my first available to the public printed workbook. Okay. And it's going to be just income streams, all the stuff from the Design Your Paycheck course, and then a lot more. But it's going to be a fat workbook, like 30, 40 pages. I'm going to take some of the stuff that I liked about Veteran Entrepreneur. And then once that's out, the one after that will be business tactics. So like the stuff in the Veteran Entrepreneur, but for civilians, for anybody. Okay.
Well, it sounds like you're on the way up the ladder. Make sure to bring me with you.
Yeah, man. So you were a part of Design Your Paycheck for a long time. You saw the content, you saw the stuff. And then you went on to make some income streams. You're working all these great projects. And I encourage you to create consulting calls, create ebooks like you've done, and then make a mini course, a DIY mini course. That's the first 3.
Yeah, man. Actually, I've already started that. So since that course, I have released 2 books on Amazon. I'm writing one right now, and I've got like 5 on my to-do list. Awesome. And this year, actually, November of last year, I started reading again. And I've read 21 books since November. And for me to not read anything since like middle school, that's pretty phenomenal, right? And through all of this stuff, I've been picking up knowledge. I've been scouring the internet. I've been trying to find a better way to run my agency. And so that's part of how this podcast got started to begin with. But one of the things that I've done is I've implemented a discovery phone call. So part of that process is to identify problem areas for clients and help them figure out what actually needs to be fixed, right? And so I've set a high price for that. So I typically don't give out my prices, but fuck it. So that discovery phase is $3,000. Flat out, that's the price, just to figure out what your problems are. Doesn't mean we're going to work together. Doesn't mean that it just means we're going to dig in together, find the problems, and the resulting product of that is yours, whether we work together or not. So
it sounds like a diagnostic.
It pretty much is. It's kind of a deep dive though, because while I've specialized in web marketing and SEO and stuff like that, I also have a day job. I have a career. I've been doing supply and logistics for 14 years, done systems analysis, integrations, database, all that gangster stuff. So I have that side as well. And that's something that a lot of these digital agencies don't have. So I'm able to dive real deep. I can audit your books. Like, that's how deep I can go. So that's what the discovery is. And so my consulting call is now, it's called the digital diagnosis. We just, Lane helped me come up with a name for that just this past week. And so that's $250 for a 2-hour call, and everything that I could do to deliver value, diagnose everything, identify problems and solutions right out the gate. That's what I'm doing. And so with that, I've had to formulate what those problems are. I've had to really define what that means. And now I've got a 6-step process, or 6 problem areas for your business. And so now I'm looking at, okay, well, what can I do with that? So now I see a book, I see a course, I see a mastermind, like all kinds of stuff can spin out from that. So it's definitely coming down the pipe, definitely, for sure.
Yeah, and it's important to look at what type of course you're going to offer, because that's where we get into Design Your Paycheck. The one thing, this is really crazy, Jared. I launched this program, and I didn't realize the different types of courses until I started creating the curriculum. And I'm like, oh, wow, there's a big difference between a 3-month group training versus a 5-day email sequence. Okay. There's a difference between, a one-on-one 3-month contract versus, say, a DIY video course.
Well, of course there is.
And it never hit me until I was creating the actual how-tos, like how diverse it is and the advantages of each, especially on your time. So, yeah, it's been educational for me as well, man. But it's, talk about crazy, like, talk about not realizing something until you are waist deep in it.
Dude, I understand completely, because I've been telling clients for years what they should be doing, and I just started listening to myself like a month ago. And it's like, fuck, I've had all this knowledge for how long, and I never used it.
Yeah, it's
kind of
what I want to see is more of you talking about case studies, client experiences, and then problem statements are really big. So you see, when I use social media, and I'm like, okay, this is what a lot of people are doing wrong. And then I give some general tips on how to fix it or whatever. And at the bottom of it, hey, if you want to talk about this further, if you got this problem, let's get on a call. But by doing this, you attract future clients. Right.
And actually, case studies are on my to-do list. And actually, I'm going to be taking it a step further by creating, have you ever worked in agile development?
No.
Basically, the way it works is you create a story for how your customer does X, Y, and Z. And then from that story, you solve their problem. And so it's kind of like building your target audience type of thing, but it's for software development. So I'm taking it a step further and going even deeper to build those stories out, to know what type of clients at the core level this type of stuff helps them, and how it helps them, and stuff like that. So yeah, dude, I'm all in. That's the only way to put it.
Good, man. And I hope you'll reach out if you have any questions about stuff. Any way I can help you with this.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna be talking for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm actually, I've got another project. I've already sold 2 of them, and it's not even created yet. I'm building out.
How the hell?
Building out a tactical CEQ DIY. And a lot of people, join tactical CEQ. It's the visibility course that I taught.
Right.
But there wasn't, we talk about course types. There wasn't a DIY. It was just a guided group training for 6 weeks. And I thought, okay, well, a lot of people want it, but the price tag's a little high for them because it's $2,000. But
so this is that like pre-recorded video, work at your own pace kind of thing, not the guided version.
Yeah. So what if you took the model, stripped it down into a still effective and very functional course, but $300, And then they get it's almost like boot camp. Like they get the beginnings of how to make a social media plan, of how to, create something custom to their business to where they can reach out to celebrities or related industries. Right. All this different stuff. But anyway, yeah, I've already contracted out twice and gotten payment for people. And this thing I haven't even created it yet. And it's going to be coming out in probably August. But that is an awesome feeling.
Well, shit, dude. I guess you must be doing something right if people are paying you just because of an idea, Yeah.
It's a little crazy. And some people, I usually don't encourage this because I've seen guys out there in the entrepreneurial sphere that are like, oh, I'm going to give people a preview of something, an idea I have, sell 20 of them. And then, 5 weeks later, I have to actually make the damn thing. I don't always agree with that ethically. As long as you can deliver, it's okay. But
a lot of people skip out on that. Yeah. Or their end product is substandard because they got the money first. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to always be careful with that. But with this, if Taxi EQ is already created, it's not a big stretch to just, shoot a custom video for each week and then just grab some PDFs and stuff.
More like fine tuning it for the masses. Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, I definitely, we get a preview, right? So I know this next question is going to kind of going to be like a knife to the gut, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway because I love you. So I know all of your social media tactics are based around your personal Facebook profile. Mm-hmm. Is anything on the horizon going to be geared towards the actual page or a group?
What do you mean?
Like an actual Facebook page, not just using your personal profile?
Oh, you're talking like a business page?
Right.
Yeah, I have one. I just haven't done a lot with it.
Right.
I
you run everything off your personal profile. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking at. Cause I mean, yeah, I make websites, my face is out there now, but at the same time I have an agency, right? And so that's why I put a lot of effort into the agency page over the personal profile. And so do you have anything coming down the pipe for those types of companies to be able to utilize your proven tactics to get themselves out there on that regard?
That's such a great question, dude. And it's something, it's definitely a weak point in my business. And it's something that I've got written down to improve, because in a perfect world, I should have my business page cranking out posts every, 3 hours and sharing videos and, and doing offers, like you're saying, like sell stuff related to the Warrior Strategist brand. So it's something in the near future, definitely. I just, my focus right now is just client work, design your paycheck, success engineers, just kind of the day-to-day, and then doing interviews like I'm doing now. So there's only so much you can do, man, before you have to get a team together and,
Right. I want to say two things off of that. The first one is that also the difference in branding, right? Because you're branding yourself as the person. You are the secret sauce to how it all works for you.
Personal brand versus a business brand. Yeah.
Right. So that's a big factor as well. And then the other one is the fact that you actually recognize your shortcomings, is freaking phenomenal. Like I tell people on this thing all the time, I'm not an expert. I'm not a guru. I probably fuck shit up every day, but I just keep trying to do better, Yeah. And so I think that's where, you and I are on the same wavelength with that, just fucking, it is what it is. This is where I'm at, trying to do better.
Yeah. I've failed a lot, Jared. I've done a lot of stuff that just sank. It took a year before I sold a course or an ebook, and I put out a lot. And I use failure as a good teacher, because the people, no matter how rich or famous someone is, if they can't admit their mistakes or their shortcomings, you need to steer clear of them, because they have an ego problem.
Yeah, man, for sure. Anyone who can't recognize failure, who can't own up to it, who can't embrace it and learn from it and move forward, that's a problem. The book that I wrote, I don't know if I told you, it's titled Epic Business Fails. So, nice. Yeah, dude, if you're not failing, you're not learning.
Exactly. And who was such a good teacher at this was Tierney, JD Tierney. when Southpaw kind of had to stop for a while, he was still in the scene. He just wasn't running the company anymore. He took a break and he came back and he was like, this is what I did wrong. I want to teach you guys so that you don't repeat my mistakes. And then he came back and Southpaw is like doing better than ever because he had time to go back and figure out, okay, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
And his lessons were so valuable. Tierney's an amazing human being.
Yeah, man, he is awesome. For those of you who do not know, we're talking about Southpaw Laser Concepts at getsouthpaw.com. The man behind the mission is JD Tierney. He's awesome. One thing I got to put this out there though, because I do miss those like those little bar boxes. Mm-hmm. I hope he brings those back because I want to get one. But yeah, aside from that though, I mean, he's churning and burning all day.
He used to have those, the full catalog, man. I had them branded for a client, and I think it was like wine glasses or something. But his work was so good. That's actually
dude. Like those ice cubes with your logo on it, the metal ones. Yeah, dude. Fucking JD, you gotta bring that shit back.
He's got to expand, man. But
yeah.
What else is on your mind?
It's not sunny today. How is it there?
Actually, really, really nice.
But so by nice, you mean it's not hit 100 yet?
No, it's just blue sky. It's probably like low 80s.
Fucking California, right?
San Diego, that's right.
Yeah, that's how you expect California to be all the time. Yeah. Nice. Well, shit, dude. You know, we've covered quite a lot in a little bit of time, so I think we're going to cap it off there, but I'm definitely going to reach out to you later, see what we can do, see how we can, promote each other even more.
Yeah, this is great, man. Thanks so much for the opportunity.
Definitely, man. All right, well, take it easy. Have a good day.
All right, brother.
All righty.